Good morning. So, what I want to talk about in this video is about the freedom of choice, about freedom of changing our mind and being flexible and keeping our minds flexible, and how our past does not have to determine the way that we do things from this moment forward. The only moment in power is the moment of now. And as we're going through this spiritual awakening, we are constantly changing. Um, and a lot of times we get stuck in these habitual ways of being, and the people around us also have like these expectations of us to continue to be the person that we have been until now. And so we kind of feel this need to perform almost, or this need to meet others' expectations or we're almost embarrassed to say, no, I was this way until now, and now I'm different. Now I don't run my life. An example of this in my life is that over the past couple of years, I've become vegan. And this is something that my children have had a really hard time coming into or accepting. Um, until this time I was accepting, and all of a sudden my entire mindset changed. Now I don't force them to be vegan, and they're not vegan. um, but for me it was life changing. It was my whole perspective, and the whole way that I look at it is completely different. I'm not going to go into it here. That isn't the point of it. But the point of it is that you can allow yourself to change without being unapologetic. We have flexible minds, and we are always evolving and always changing. And the only moment of power that we have is this moment in power. The current moment is the only moment of power. And a lot of times, we'll get on this, we'll start some kind of project, or we'll get on a certain path. And then we feel obligated because we were taught, many of us were taught, including myself, that you finish what you start. If you start something, you finish, which, you can look at that and you can say, yeah, that is a good thing to have in life, that kind of mindset, when you start something, finish it. But that also, that has to be something that is flexible, because there's so many times that you start down a path, and as you're going, you're starting to see, well, wait a minute, this isn't exactly what I thought. This isn't, when I started it, I was looking at these aspects, but I didn't see these other aspects here. And uh, and then you have to allow yourself to be flexible of thought and to be able to change your mind, even if it means that there are other people in the picture that don't understand it and don't get it. And you have to be really careful with this and really use your own judgment, because there's also a way of, like, if something starts becoming difficult, you like cop out. I'm not talking about that kind of like just quitting because it's hard. I'm talking about allowing yourself to be flexible of mind to, in each moment, recreate your life. You're creating your life in every single moment, and every single moment is opening up unlimited amounts of potential. Every single moment that you are alive, there are so many different paths that you can choose to go down. And as you live, you are able to change and to maneuver your path down a line that seems better for you, or down a way that that you feel more comfortable with, or is more aligned with your new being, because we are constantly progressing. We are constantly opening up and broadening and expanding. um, just like the universe around us, every day we're learning new things. So every day we are more than we were yesterday. And so allowing yourself to be flexible of mind allows your expansion. Instead of getting like stuck on an idea, because I decided it yesterday, it doesn't mean that today it is still in alignment with me. An example of this is, I always have multiple projects going. Throughout my life, I've always had multiple projects going. Um, all sorts of business ideas, and endeavors, and art projects, and sewing projects, and things I'm doing with my children, and so many different aspects of my life. Um, and I was always feeling pressure because I would always have these lists of all the projects that I have going on, and this one I'm not getting to, and that one I'm not getting to, and I had all this like this noise in my mind. And at some point a few years ago, I realized, well, wait a minute, even if I have 15 projects going all at once, and three are actualized. That's three projects. When I look back in my life, I see how much I've accomplished just by, and there's been far more projects that have fallen off of my plate than have been completely realized. And then I start realizing that I have constantly ideas and constant projects that are coming into my life, and that the ones that are falling out are the ones that just didn't get importance. They were the ones that didn't get realized because they were less important than the ones that I did put my time on. And a lot of them, after a year of them being on my list, my interest falls away from them. And then I started realizing, well, there's a reason why they're falling off my plate. Either I started them and they weren't exactly what I thought they were going to be. I didn't get the satisfaction, or I didn't feel, or I evolved and what was in that project just isn't, I've evolved beyond that at this point. So, and what I realized, that there is always going to be projects coming into my life. As long as I'm going through life, and as long as I'm moving, and as long as I'm expanding, there are always going to be opportunities. In every moment, there's unlimited opportunities. And there's always going to be opportunities presenting to themselves to me that are most relevant for the place that I am now. So, holding on to past projects and feeling guilty because I didn't accomplish all of the things that I wanted to accomplish. And I realized there just isn't enough time in life to accomplish all of those things. And at the same time, also, I feel extremely accomplished because three of those 15 projects did get realized. That's three projects that did get the light of day, that did get my focus, that did get power, and that came to be realized. Those are manifestations. And the things that are really important, like the book that I wrote, it sat on the shelf for 7 years until I was ready to put it out. And I see now the intelligence, the divine intelligence and guidance behind it. It could not have come to be realized before now. Um, not in the way, not in the place that I was. And obviously it couldn't have, because it didn't. If it had been able to, it would have been. And so I see this divine intelligence and this divine guidance, and how everything works out exactly how it's supposed to work out. And when you keep your mind flexible, you are always open for these options to come into your life. And so really what the point of this video, and I've started making a point of telling the point of the video at the beginning so that I can bring it, wrap it all the way around and bring back the point at the end. So the point of this video is really that to allow yourself to have a flexible mind, that the power in your life is in every single moment. Every moment, you have the right and the capability of making your mind up anew, making your mind up anew. That in every moment you can make a decision and can change a decision that you made in the past. You can change contracts that you made with yourself. You don't have to, you keep your mind flexible. You don't have to be rigid in your mind. By being rigid, a lot of times you start feeling this project isn't right, but you feel obligated, like you have to do this, you have to do this. And in that, you're not in allowance to let the universe, if you're starting to feel the pressure and like it's not aligned with you, but you still have to do it, and it starts feeling like punishment, you need to really open that up and start looking at it and see why you're feeling that. It could be that project or whatever it was, or that line of thought, or you started studying something, and in the middle, you went to school, you started studying something, and in the middle you realize, well, wait a minute, this isn't really what I want to study. I'm not really connected to this, but you feel obligated because you've already started those studies, and what, I'm going to waste all of what I but there is a purpose in that, because everything that falls out is getting us closer to what is aligned with us. It's like a filtering system, right? We try that, we're constantly stimulated by the world, and we try this and we try this and we try this and we try this and we try this. And by being able to say this no, this yes, this no, this yes, it's like our own filtering system. And we can, through that, we start maneuvering what is exactly aligned with our true being. So that just really keeping your mind flexible and knowing that in each moment you have the power of change. You have the power of making a decision, and you have the power of saying, okay, up till now, this was like this. But from this point onwards, that is not aligned with me anymore. And you have the right to change your mind. You have the right to put your life on a new path, even if it means that other people in your life are going to have to accept it. You are the only one living your own life, and you are the only one that can make it true to you. And as long as you're not hurting other people, other people might get hurt because of your actions, because you're changing. Like with the vegan thing, my kids are, they're kind of, it has taken them quite a while to accept it, and I still think that they're still a little bit fighting against it, because they've known me all their life a certain way, and then all of a sudden there's a big shift. It's scary, that somebody that they're so close to is able to change in that way. And so, but you are the only one. And when you stand on your own and you tell the world what it is that you are, you have the right, first of all, and the world will accept it, because they have to. It is your right. It is your life. And you have the right, the power in each moment to make a new judgment and a new assessment and a new decision, and to make change. So, um, I'm going to go ahead and sum this up here. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.